Welcome back to my Final Fantasy XIV drama series. Today's drama story is about Caught Red-Handed. If you enjoy these kinds of videos, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. This is a long story. I was unemployed at the time. That may not seem like an important detail initially, but by the time we get to the end of the story, it will probably be the most important detail there is. I was coming off the heels of losing a friend of 5 years, so I wasn't in a good place already. I decided that maybe I should invest myself into the game Final Fantasy XIV and run away from my problems like you'll see me often do. I made a static, and I wanted to build a community in my free company. Unfortunately for me, there were not enough people that wanted to tackle savage content in my FC at the time. Luckily for me, one of the better raiders I knew had met someone while in the party finder. I think for privacy reasons, it might be a good idea to use fake names, so I will do that. Her name is Amanda, and she had heart, and she had skill. And I think most important than anything else is that she had the time. Time to dedicate to this group of people that had never really spent any time together before. It was at the end of Eden's Promised here, and we had Echo. That is how we met. My schedule allowed me to raid very often. She had a very open schedule as well, and due to how often we were raiding together, we spent a lot of time together. Eventually, we started sending each other memes. Then at some point, I'm not sure when, we started flirting. She would stick around after raid and we would talk. She works nights and I didn't work at all at the time, so I would spend the night with her. And I'm not sure when, but we would start falling asleep on call together. It doesn't sound like a big deal, but I think that's when I really started falling for her. We would talk all through the night till I went to bed, until I woke up, then we'd talk some more. Eventually, things will get flirty to the point that I couldn't ignore it anymore. Oh my god, guys, I forgot to turn on the chat. There we go. You guys are on YouTube. Say hello. One day, while we were sitting in a public voice call, she had to leave to attend to another call. She would return a few minutes later and tell me that we could keep watching what we were watching. Well, around this point, I decided to stream something else and ask her, is this flirting? Is that what's going on here? Because honestly, I can't tell. She told me that she would call me in private because she didn't feel comfortable with me streaming the DMs. So we moved to a private chat and she tells me that she is flirting. The feeling is mutual. It's been a long time since the feeling was mutual. Then she tells me that she has a boyfriend and that at the moment things are kind of rocky, and I tell her that I know she has a boyfriend, or I should say that I knew she had a boyfriend because she had never really mentioned them throughout this time, except for the one time she brought him up months ago, and I did not know if she was still with him or not. She tells me that the call she had to attend to was from her boyfriend who saw us sitting in Discord watching anime together. She was telling him that it was how she chooses to spend her time and that it was her own business and she didn't appreciate him checking in on her like that and assuming the worst. She said she wanted to see if things could work, give the guy a chance or something to that effect. And that was about over a year ago that she mentioned this to me. Ooh. It's like it's starting off like in a bit of a rocky place already because she's, taken. Well, by Thanksgiving, we were dating. Officially, anyway. Okay, so she's not with her other guy anymore. She felt bad that her previous relationship and her new relationship had somewhat overlapped. So we agreed that our anniversary would be November 30th. Things would keep going like this and keep getting better. I was falling in love with her. At some point, she would bring up the idea of closing the gap. Closing the gap is a term used in long-distance relationships. If you play Final Fantasy XIV, you may already be familiar with it. I was over the moon. I told her that I couldn't believe that she brought it up first because I've been thinking about it and I didn't know how to bring up the subject, seeing as how we'd only been dating officially for a little under a month. She told me that she already had tickets. She bought the tickets way before COVID. The tickets were bought about 3 boyfriends ago. Maybe 2. What? she could change the destination and the dates of the flight, and she had to do it by the end of the year. What? That's a thing? You can do that for as long as however long you want? I didn't know that. But like the fact that it was said like 3 boyfriends ago, like, oh, what the hell? She started talking about staying in a hotel and said that she'd only be able to stick around for about a week, maybe 2. I told her, why the F would you need a hotel? I have a perfectly good home right here. With accommodations out of the way, she would be able to stay with me for like a month. The lead up to this trip would be some of the most exciting times of my life, or at least that's what I thought. I got a job. I was employed again, a full 2 weeks before she was due to arrive. The schedule was 6 days a week, 10 hours a day. In my line of work, that is not out of the ordinary, but we made it work. We would call before work, we would call after work, and then we would call before I went to bed. One thing that you need to understand is that I did not want to monopolize all her time. She had her group of friends, which were a wonderful bunch, and I am going to miss them. I had my group of friends, and we would do our own thing. Sometimes we will link up, but sometimes we wouldn't. But at this point, we would make it work. A moment ago, I said those were the best times. I was wrong because her being here was the best time. Coming home after work and having her waiting for me with a warm home-cooked meal was wonderful. I took her everywhere around my city that was worth going. That mostly consisted of places I went to as a child on school field trips. There's a reason that those places were chosen for the field trips, not just for the educational value, but for their memorability. So those were the places I took her. To the museum, to the aquarium, the rodeo. Food-wise, whatever her stomach desired, we went out to get it. It was the best month of my life, and it ended so soon. I think what I remember the most about this trip is that at the end of it, we said goodbye at the airport. She cried in my arms, told me something I'll never forget. This was the best month of my life. I don't want it to end. I don't want to leave you. It was heartbreaking. It took everything in me to not cry. I told her, I'll bring you back, I promise. And we said our goodbyes. I looked down at the woman I love on high on the bridge as she went through the gates. She told me she didn't stop crying for a long time. Things stayed good for a while. She left at the end of March. By the end of June, she would start the process of cheating. I wouldn't become suspicious till mid-July, but we would do stuff together and call all the time till around the 4th of July. Here's where details are fuzzy-ish. On the 17th of July, we watched an episode of Miss Marvel after playing the game together a bit. At the end of the call, she asked me how I felt about opening the relationship. This is already a red flag to me. I tell her I don't want to do that. I'm a one-person type of person. That polyamory isn't for me. She explains to me her side of things and how it's not that she loves me any less. It's just that she wants to be free to love other people. If someone tells you they're poly and you're not okay with being poly, just end it. Misery lies ahead for both of you. They're a caged bird and you're their keeper. Let them fly. We talk more, and she brings up an old friend I knew she had for a while, Kent. She's a role player. A lot of her role play is of the erotic nature. I was okay with that because we are not our characters. She would even send me screenshots of the RP occasionally. Well, Kent is long distance as well, and now I feel like she feels the relationship is lacking. And I go vent about it on Discord. I tell her about it and she gets mad that strangers are judging her. I apologize and make note not to do it again. She would grow more and more distant, and by the end of July, I'm losing emotional stability. In August, I managed to get an unscheduled call at like 3 a.m. because that's when I go to the gym now, and that's the time when I usually have anxiety and depression issues. I run away. I'm doing 5 miles every morning on the treadmill, and during this talk, I tell her that I feel like she has feelings for someone else, and she tells me no. I tell her I believe her, and if that's what she says, then so be it. I shouldn't have. And she tells me she doesn't want to talk to me because she's having too much fun in other calls and doesn't have fun when she talks to me. I should have ended it there, but the ticket for her to visit me the second time around has already been bought and cost about $2,000. She says that if I'm a 9 out of 10, she doesn't want to leave her 10 out of 10 to talk to me. Oh my god! That's hurtful! I'm a broken man. I've had people tell me some terrible shit, but this one's the top because never in my life have I been called a bore. I give her space. We don't talk much, and she doesn't reply much either. We were 3 weeks away from her coming to visit me, and I'm wondering if she'll even want to get on that plane. Yeah, that's pretty mean. Okay. Alright, will she get on the plane? She communicates to me that she got on the plane. There's hope. I made a cute airport sign and everything. She's unimpressed and exhausted. I was awake the whole time she was on a layover. She didn't even call me. She called the other guy though. I know this now. I bring her home and she showers, and none of the emotions that were there on the first trip is here anymore. She's not excited. She seems miserable. And when she plugs her laptop up to play Final Fantasy XIV, her wallpaper is her alt and some other guy's character. Oh! The guy I was suspicious about. This was a screaming red flag. She leaves the room and closes her laptop. She types messages on certain channels only on her phone. I'm in the middle of progging P8, and I have to stop and ask these strangers on a Discord call if this is sus. And they think it is. I don't bring it up. I want to wait and see. Night comes along and I'm going to bed, and she's on call with the other guy. She's extra loud. And as I'm laying in bed, I can't help but think, damn, I'm the cuck, aren't I? I leave and then sleep in the other room. Dude, this is insane. She finds me and asks me, what's wrong? I tell her she's loud, so I moved rooms. She asked if there was anything else. I didn't want to say it. I needed to be up in 4 hours, so I wanted to avoid a long talk and told her no and went to bed. On Thursday, she tells me she wants to visit a friend. I'm guessing probably Kent. And again, this is another red flag. I say, sure, yeah. You're not gonna fuck him, are ya? And she says, no. This is such a strange conversation to already have. On day 1, I ordered a recorder. Today I put it to charge when I came home early. She doesn't know I did this. She stayed asleep. Okay, so you have a recorder up? Oh my god, this is getting intense! She was on call in my bed with Kent. I unlocked her phone and went through their messages. She's been e-fucking him since July 11th. A full week prior to bringing up Polly. By August, they were putting on cam shows for each other. They were talking about buying love scents. In brackets, just Google it. It's not safe for work, though. So yeah. I have no idea what love scents is, by the way, chat. All the times she wouldn't talk to me, she was actually talking to him. And very often, when we were watching something, she was duo boxing with him on her phone. He was planning to drive 12 hours to meet her for a trip in the middle of the day while I was at work. Damn! Oh my god, they were planning to do it while she was visiting you. This relationship has been over for months. I just didn't know. I stayed calm and I put the phone back and I go out for a walk. I spent 6 hours walking in the park figuring out stuff. The chat is wildin' right now. I just look over. Remember the recorder? On Saturday, I came home early. She was surprised. She woke up this time. I reached for her phone, and she asks why I did that. I said I wanted to see the time. My phone has a shit wallpaper for seeing the time. What I was really checking was if the Discord icon was up. It was. She gets her phone, leaves the call, and we cuddle. She's covering her bases she doesn't know have already been exposed. I have to leave after a while, and I set my recorder up. Within 5 minutes, she's on a call with the guy. She's telling him about how she forgot I came home early on Saturdays, and how she won't be able to sleep with him tonight because I'll be here. That was all recorded, and you saw that. I got all the evidence I need. I tap her on the flank at her desk and ask her to listen to something with me. She recognizes it. I can see it in her face. How long is this? She asks. 2 hours, I reply. I'm not gonna listen to this for 2 hours. We don't need to. Why are we listening to this? Because I think you need to hear it. Why am I still here if you already listened to it? Because I want to share this experience with you. I play it on my TV and play the recording of when she says the line, "We won't be able to sleep together because he doesn't work tomorrow." I pause the recording. What do you have to say? I say to her. I don't have anything to say. Why did you get on that plane? I wanted to see if we still had anything. I think you made that decision long before you got on the plane. How long has this been going on? I don't know, like a month? Just check. Go to your chat and scroll up. When did it start? I make a move towards her computer that we bought together last trip. No, stop! You know it's not okay to do this to people. Well, you didn't want to be poly, and I'm poly. This isn't what all 3 books I read on poly said about what poly was. You can't hide behind that. What were you thinking? What was your plan? I didn't have a plan. If you haven't noticed, my life's a mess. Yeah, well, you can't stay here. Let me pack. Yeah, take your time. Give me your phone. You don't deserve the memories we made. And I'm deleting pictures. This is intense. I feel like I'm watching a movie, guys. I recorded the breakup too, because I knew I'd have to replay it and that my memory wouldn't be good enough. I drove her to the hotel and put her stuff in her room and made sure that she had a stable internet connection before I left. We talked a lot in the hotel too, and I tried to make a move on her still. I'm ashamed of that. As I write this on Monday, the 19th, she is more than likely already in Georgia. Georgia? I'm in Georgia. She's more than likely already in Georgia, already with Kent, and forgetting I even exist, if the messages I saw were any indication. The bun boy got the girl in the end. He's unemployed and has time to talk to her all night. He shares similar interests, and to be honest, he sort of does look like what I look like, so she does have a type. All I have now is this story, and a lot of tainted memories. And if you're listening to this, I want you to know I'm talking to strangers on the internet again, because my friends don't want to hear it. But don't take this as an offensive gesture. This is just the embodiment of my emotions. We are who we are. I stuck around for 2 months of emotional neglect with someone that supposedly loved me. For 2 months, she would run me with the occasional call, feed me affection. For 2 months, I was in a bad place. But I type this now. It has helped me to move on, and I am happy. The end. The recording is pretty intense, but I get, like, some people need that. Like, the fact that you recorded the breakup and rewatch it to, like, remind yourself, like, this is over. That's intense. I would rather just, like, forget it completely. For me, it's like, holy shit, it's such a terrible thing. I want to, like, erase it. I want to erase it out of my memory and never have to watch that shit again. But if it helps you move on, then I can see why you did it. For me, it would be better if I just didn't have any recording, period. Delete all. Okay, this is a saying, okay? How you meet someone is how you lose someone. People say that sometimes, right? So if things were already messy when you guys met, what she did to the other guy is what she did to you. Bouncing from one guy to the other. And like she said, she wanted poly. She wanted an open relationship. That's sad that the poly stuff wasn't told to you early on. But no, I'm glad you're a lot happier. That was a wild story. You know what's crazy, guys, about that story was that she had the audacity to like do stuff in your home, in your bed, talk to another guy. I forgot to mention all this earlier. Like, that to me is the weirdest shit. The cheating is already bad, but like the fact that she wanted to like talk to someone else in your house and like sleep on your bed and plan to make this guy come to your house while you were at work. Oh no. Imagine if you never knew she was going to do that. If you never put a recording up and let's say like she did get her way and brought that guy there and they had sex on your bed. How could you live with like, how could you sleep on your bed? And it's like, if you find out later on, like that would have been super shit. It's like she used you as an Airbnb. I would have burned my bed. I hope you have changed your sheets, bro. Let me know in the comments below what you thought about this Final Fantasy XIV drama story. If you have any of your own drama stories that you'd like me to share and read out anonymously, feel free to reach out to my Discord, discord.gg/Pathra.